This is Dennis with Home Rehab Pros, and we have another window problem. This top sash won't stay up. Bottom sash won't stay up. But this is a different window than you've seen in other videos that we've produced. This has a constant balance feature instead of a tension spring balancer. So let's take a closer look and see exactly what I mean. Remember, in some windows they have that long rod with the corkscrew spring that you tighten up a little bit and you install in there to the shoe. All you see with these is basically the shoe, but inside of them there's these springs that have constant balance, and they allow that window to have the tension it needs to stay up. So something's gone wrong with these windows. Let's find out what it is. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take that bottom sash out, or at least tilt it in. Let's see what we find. We're going to grab these two springs on the top, and we're going to bring it out. And we're going to do so slowly and keep it so that it doesn't drop on us. And we're going to try to keep it at an angle. So now I already see, you see this side's moving pretty freely, and we find out that it's come out of one of its shoe bases. The shoe is right here. It needs to be attached to the window. So let's take a closer look at that. So I've taken the sash out of the opening. Okay, you can see that. And there's that shoe the window had come out of. That's what it looks like. Okay, and we can see something interesting with this shoe. Notice how this is horizontal. So I've got a nice size screwdriver, and I'm going to put it right in that slot. And you're going to be able to see I can bring it up, down, but it springs back automatically all on its own. That tells me that that tension spring still works. That constant pressure spring is still working. So here's how these mechanisms work. With a nice size screwdriver, I'm going to put that right in that slot. And you can see that it can come up and down. But they also lock. So when you bring it down and you turn it to a vertical position, now it's locked. See, it doesn't go up and down. Right? So I'm going to use that to my advantage in a couple minutes when I reset all of these shoes to the place that I want to set them to when I'm ready to install these sashes. So as you can see, this is the side of the window. You see this issue here? That fits nicely into that shoe. And the shoe holds the window up when it's working correctly, and this shoe is working correctly. It's just this window, because perhaps somebody tilted it and popped it out of there. Maybe they tried to remove the sash and they couldn't put it back in. Whatever the reason why is, what we have to do is get both of these, because there's one on the other side of the window too. We've got to get them both inside that shoe. Okay, so let's find out what's going on with the top sash. So it could be that we have the same problem with that top sash. Maybe somebody tried to take it out, so they grab it and they pull the springs back and they lean it up. Oh, sure enough, I can see it right there. That side is not in the shoe that it's supposed to be in. So let's check that out. Let's get this window out of here. There we go. It's that simple. Put the sash to the side, and now let's take a look at this. Oh, okay. Well, we have both shoes, and again, this shoe springs right back up. So what I found out is that I don't need any new hardware here. All I need to do is get the window back in, both clips back in those shoes, so that the tension and the constant spring pressure from those shoes keep the windows up. So let's see how we're going to do that. So now that I have all those shoes working, I know they're working, we can install these sashes. Now what I've done is I've brought the shoes down to a lower level, on both of them, the upper sash and the lower sash. I've brought those shoes and I've locked them in place. Remember I showed you how to lock them in place. On this side, I have those shoes maybe 1.5 inches to 2 inches higher than these. Because when we bring that sash in, I'm going to push them in on this side and then lower it down on this side, and it's going to go into that hole, and we're going to have just enough where we can push these sashes up. So obviously I'm going to start with the upper sash. And here it is. And this is the bottom. It's got the lock mechanism on the inside. We want to make sure we do that right. We don't want to put it in backwards and we have to reinstall it. I'm going to insert it in the shoe over here, and then angle it nicely over to here. And make sure it's in there too. Then I'm just going to bring that up a little bit. I can do that with the window in it. Just slide it in, pop it in, and there we go. So you got to maneuver it a little bit. You got to get that up, angle it a little bit to get it in the unlocked position, but make sure that your steel pins are in both sides of that shoe. And as you can see, it fixed it. Now let's try the lower sash. Again, lock is on the inside, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put that pin in there. We're going to angle that in so we can see it. It's a little bit tight, but there we go. Okay, so it's in both sides, and we're just going to lift that up a little bit so that it unlocks it. Now, there we go. Now it's working. There we go. And there we go. And so that opened nice, closes nice, stays open, works exactly like it's supposed to work. A little bit of an adjustment. Let's just make sure, that we have that metal clip in both shoes as we angle that back up and bring it into the opening. And there you go. That's how you fix a window that has come out of its tension spring. So this is Dennis with Home Rehab Pros. Thank you so much for watching. Windows can be challenging. Depending on the maker, the manufacturer, every set of hardware can be different. But don't be afraid of that. Be courageous. Make the decision to repair your window yourself, because we know you can do it. In fact, let's just do this, as we need to make our home repairs. And you know what? If the content was valuable to you, please hit the like button. We appreciate that very much. And we'd really like to know what you have to say. A comment, maybe you tried something, maybe I can learn something from you. So leave those things in the comments below. And if you're not subscribed, we'd appreciate it if you did that too. So until next time, this is Dennis with Home Rehab Pros, and we'll see you in the next video. There we go. What the heck is the problem now? Move it up a little bit so that it's correct. Pop it in. Okay, so we're going to install this lower sash. Here we go. Make sure we got it right side inside. It's got the little lock mechanism there.